time. And okay, Fabiano Caruana, the man himself, on board 3 this time with white.
Yes, and there he is, adjusting the pieces, getting everything ready to start play. Incidentally, a fellow tea shop frequenter, very impressive wins. But then the wind has kind of been taken out of his sails a little bit because he's had 3 draws in a row.
The wind has been outdoors here in the Isle of Man, not in Fabiano's sails. But let's catch up with the early moves in this game, because slightly surprising stuff, or interesting stuff at least, has happened. We see e4, e5, and the Italian game with bishop landing on c4. Black copies, bishop c5, and here Evgeniy plays the very trendy bishop g5. The problem with the Italian and sometimes the Spanish these days, if you're playing black, is you have to be ready for bishop g5 in literally any position. Black here deals with this by playing h6 and bishop back to e7. This is kind of the old-fashioned solid approach. In modern times, they often play g5 in the kind of early stages of the game. Bishop e7 and bishop g3. Black's kind of wasted time, bishop c5 and then back to break the pin. And White's wasted a lot of time with his bishop as well. What do you make of this?
It's a bit odd, this manoeuvre, I'm not going to lie, because it feels like after moves like d6, this bishop on g3 could get locked out of the game. And plus, don't quite get what Fabiano's plan is. I mean, could it be just stepping the knight back to d2 and then kind of bulldozing open the center with f2, f4, and yeah, d6, the very natural move, has been played. And I'm just going to check the opening database. Yeah, 75 games in this one. It says White's main move actually is to play a4. Yeah, you have to secure the knight squared bishop, otherwise Black is simply going to go knight to a5.
Yeah, and Fabiano plays the main move a4 just to highlight that idea you mentioned, Evgeniy. Now this bishop will be hunted down and traded off. No matter what, you don't want to part with the light squared bishop if you're an Italian player, if you play the Spanish opening as well. So a4, not just creating this retreat square, but also gaining space. I think we'll see a5 very quickly from Fabiano in the next few moves.
Well, actually, funny enough, again, according to the database that I have here, the most popular move for White is h3.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking maybe the whole idea is to step the bishop back and go g4. Well, modern day chess.
Yeah, let's show this for example, bishop h2, and now that Black's committed, White hasn't committed his own king. The centre is still relatively closed. g4, g5 might be on the cards, but Fabiano chooses a more classical approach. I don't think he's ready to risk too much yet. Knight to d2 instead. Actually, at the recent World Cup, I myself faced a position where White just castled, put a knight on c3, and I was suffering a bit with Black. I did eventually play moves like knight to h5, hunting down this bishop, but we'll see what Fabiano has in store. Najer, known for being very solid, he very rarely blunders. He's quite ambitious if you give him a chance to attack, but this one, as Black, yeah, it definitely feels like he will be slightly less prepared than Caruana.
Yes, and well, Najer's a very strong player, but for sure Fabiano will be looking to secure a victory here. And let's move down to probably my favourite pairing of the day.
faced sometimes in these positions a rook, if it's kind of just facing a pure bishop and knight, it can fight against the might of two pieces, but here not too many open lines. And if you ever go behind, white will simply protect this pawn with his bishop.
I mean, white's position is just rock solid, whereas nothing can be said for black's kingside. I mean, the f5 pawn will be picked off, the h6 pawn is also pretty weak, so...
And Fabiano's last move, really instructive. The knight was actually trapped, so if black had had time to go back and round, this knight had no escape squares, but there's just enough time to use b8 as a launchpad to either a6 or maybe, a6 or even c6. And yeah, if c5 is played, the knight just goes back where it came from. Suddenly a big weakness has been created on b6.
Yeah, indefensible as well, so you can't do that. But then the question is, what can you do as black to generate play? I mean, the rook is just not useful at all.
If you can't play c5, actually the d4 pawn is dropping. White will just play the simple knight c6, drop the bishop back, nudge the rook away, and yeah, this pawn, easy target.
Yeah.
I think it's collapsing concretely in this position. If black had a few moves, if you could teleport this king over to d6, just hold everything together. I mean, even then the kingside pawns would fall, but yeah, it looks like Fabiano, he's tricked Najer here.
Yeah, and there's no stable way to keep that rook on e4. I mean, I was looking at moves like f4 as well, but that doesn't help anything, because you can, at the very least, go pawn takes pawn and then step up with the king.
Yep, step in with the king.
Oh, now then maybe you have rook f6.
Covering the c6 square. Maybe after f4 there's no threat at all, so knight c6 anyway. d3 coming.
Yeah.
d4 pawn falling.
And again, there's no entry point for the rook. The rook can't go to the e2 square because it's under guard from this bishop.
Nothing to do. f3 looks tempting. There is a trap here actually. Just to mention, bishop d3 could walk into a move like rook e2, and you cannot take it because the pawn promotes. But of course, after f3, white doesn't need to fall into that. White can play moves such as g4, rook e2. Will be met by a simple capture on d4. It can win the f2 pawn, but white will step forward, win f3 next. Again, still a winning position.
It is great for Fabiano Caruana. He also has plenty of time on the clock, just over 11.5 minutes. And where is the drama? Maybe we can go over to Alexander Predke against Samuel Shankwin.